What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kasey, and I'm back again with another video. In today's video, I really want to talk about forgiveness, but not forgiveness for others, but forgiveness for yourself. Now, this conversation really spurred from a couple weeks ago. I had the best cry with the Lord a couple weeks ago. I mean, I was down and through it. Like, I was crying so hard that my head hurt. I want to start with Colossians 3:13 with saying, make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Now remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive. And I think that we often skip over like the part that matters most. And it's the fact that the Lord forgave you, you know? And like, yes, we're supposed to forgive, but that also means we're supposed to offer forgiveness and grace to ourselves. Now some people may be like, Kasey, what does that mean? But like, to me, forgiveness is just not me forgiving someone who has done wrong to me, but for me, forgiveness is also forgiving me for doing wrong, because there have been times in my life where I've done things that I'm not like proud of, or like things that I feel like have gone against God's will for my life that I did anyway out of choosing to do those things for my own selfish reasons. And so for that, I never really sought an apology for myself for it. And instead, I was just like harboring all these feelings and emotions of like, well, I may not be good enough because I messed up in this area. And I knew that I messed up in that area, but like, I just never forgave myself from that, because I felt like, and so I never allowed or asked God to forgive me truly for those things. Like, I would just speak blatantly to God and just say, God, please forgive me for my sins. Please forgive me for my transgressions, right? But I never once identified, here's what I did, and here's me leaving it here at this altar. I would say, I'm forgiven. I want to ask for forgiveness for this, but I also want to carry this with me because I feel too much shame to really and truly leave this here with you, to really trust and believe that you're forgiving me for this. And so instead of just saying, please forgive me, I'm like still keeping my head bowed down and just really like not allowing myself to forgive myself, and then not trusting that God has forgiven me. And so I feel like this verse is not just for forgiving someone else, but it's also forgiving yourself as well. And then whenever I talk to God about a lot of things, all this sparked like out of prayer, and I've quoted Mark 11:24 before on this channel, just talking about you can pray for anything, and if you believe you receive it, then you will receive it. And that goes back to my point of like, I didn't truly feel like I deserved to be forgiven, because I knew that I did wrong. You see what I'm saying? And so even though I was praying, like I was like, God, please take this like burden away from me. Like, God, please just fill this gap in my heart. Like, I didn't believe that. I truly was just like, I'm hoping and praying for a miracle here, but like, I deep down, like inside, just don't believe that you're ever going to forgive me for this, because I don't forgive myself for this. And so one of the ways I went about forgiving myself for it is really just like having an open like conversation with God about it. And a lot of people talk about like journaling, like in this space. And for me, journaling is cool, but like so here's the story time. When I was younger, my cousin stole my diary, and I don't know if he remembers this or not, but he stole my diary and made fun of me for it every time I saw him for years. So I stopped being open and honest in my journaling, because what if I lost it and somebody found it, and then I'm being taunted and mocked in this area? So I stopped being transparent in my diary ever since then, because what if somebody find it? So that's just my own trauma, okay? That's just me, okay? And so I really like, when I was sitting in the shower, and I was like, oh my gosh, like just feeling so relieved and just so like light. And I was just like, but how? And I just started weeping in tears, to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn off this water because I don't want to pay the water bill. But then I did like take a tub bath, and I just sat in the tub and just cried. and just really like went to him completely, like honestly, audibly, and just told him, I said, God, I need help fixing my emotions in this area. If you could just extend grace for me to have understanding of my own actions and why I did this in a spiritual manner, like from a spiritual perspective, because like in real life, I know why I did these things, right? Like I can justify tangible, rational things that if I were to tell you, then you would agree. Not okay, not saying that you would agree with my actions because, but just saying that rationally it made sense to me in my life and in that time. So like I couldn't I couldn't feel sorry because rationally it made sense, but spiritually it didn't make sense. It was spiritually wrong but rationally correct. And so I was battling with myself of like, I am sorry for these things because it goes against your will, but this is what I was like dealt. This is the card I was dealt, and this is what I did. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a internal struggle for me because of that. Like it just made so much sense logically, but okay, I don't need to keep repeating myself from that. Okay, I really sat with him in that, and I really sat there in silence after that. And I wasn't waiting on anything. I just was sitting there, and I was just like really coming to terms with what I said out loud, and really coming to terms with like, really, and I can like, and really feeling like his grace and his goodness like on my life, like. And I was just like, but why do I still feel so guilty? And it's just because my heart never asked for forgiveness from him. You know what I mean? And so it was like, even though like I moved forward and I can acknowledge God in so many other areas of my life, it was like this area I couldn't let go, and I couldn't move past it. And I couldn't I couldn't wrap my head around why I could never not feel guilty, and why like I'm still being woke up every day because of him. You know what I'm saying? I just really couldn't, like, not saying that like God like take me out right now. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm like every day I'm battling with this thing about like I'm waking up every day, which means that he still has a purpose on my life that I don't know what it is. But I know that I've done things that I don't think that he's proud of, but he still woke me up today. And so I still have purpose in my life, but I don't understand what that looks like as far as like walking out in purpose or forgiving myself from feeling guilty. So it just was like this never ending cycle of like, I keep asking for forgiveness for the same thing. And so when I sat there and just was like, Kasey, stop apologizing for that. You just apologized for it, and you just came to God humbly and openly. And so you need to take that and pick up your tears and go forward. Just like in that story where, everybody was getting stoned. I mean, that girl was about to get stoned, and then all the men were there trying to say, oh, she's an adulterer. And then God said, he who is without sin cast the first stone, and nobody cast their stone. So he like bent down to her and was just like, go forward, pick, like, wipe your tears. Y'all know the story. I don't really know where it is in the Bible. I'll see if I'll like find it and then put it up there. But that's the story. Okay. That's the story. Factually. I just don't really know the Bible verse right this moment. Okay. To like other opportunities to open and like within my spiritual walk, but it also caused other things and other spiritual attacks in other areas. And that is also for me, confirmation that I have let it go, because I stopped feeling attacked and convicted in that area, because I have truly let it go. And I can't go back and change these actions. And I really do feel like I have been forgiven for those actions. And so, and I think that when you truly release it and you have turned from it, you don't like just stop thinking about it. Like even when it tries to creep back into your mind of, oh, I used to be this type of person, or oh, I've done this, change your action. Change your thought, because this word right here will give you so much stuff to combat the way you feel and what you're telling yourself on repeat. And I think that like all these affirmations and stuff are really good, but really it's not even about that. It's about the word, because like he's giving you stuff to combat your own mental attacks. He's giving you that right here. Okay, maybe like not right here in this iPad. I mean, I am on the Bible app, but just imagine this is a real Bible, okay? So he's giving you stuff to combat your mental battles. And so wherever you are in that mental war, you literally just need to write 3 to 5 verses. Like write them down and put them on your mirror, and or keep them in your phone or keep them in your car. And because wherever you think about it, that's what you need to be repeating to yourself. No, God said this. Whatever the scripture is that you're dealing with, when that thought or when those memories come back to try to attack you and remind you that you know and try to deceive you and say no, you're still this person, even though you know God has forgiven you for that, you need to remind that thought, no, I will no longer be listening to you, and I am changing my thought process because I have been forgiven and I have been redeemed. And I'm not trying to negate my story and my life and what I've gone through and what I've done. I'm not trying to say that that's a lie, but what I'm saying is I've been forgiven for that. And my mind did stop thinking about it. I stopped thinking about it, and releasing that is the hardest thing, because it's not just one thing that goes away. Like when I got out the tub, that sounds like so whatever. When I got finished crying and everything, I felt released and I felt fresh and I felt good. But the next day I was attacked the same way. And so I had to have some kind of thing to continue to fight back. Like I can't just say, Lord, forgive me, Lord, forgive me. Like, I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, it's not him tormenting me in this way anymore. Not anymore. It's not him tormenting me. And so I have to come back with spiritual words as well. Like I can't continue to take up your armor of the Lord in this season when you're asking for forgiveness, because there may be some other like blackhead that spears up in your life and you're like, dang, I just overcame this forgiveness and now I gotta battle this over here, because that's how it happens. We can push down things so long till you don't even know what's there. You don't even know what's there. And so it's time to unpack that. So I know I kind of like gave scriptures that I've already used, but that's just so like these scriptures that I have really helped me in so many different facets of my life, because this book really does read you wherever you are. And that's what's so interesting about it. Like I'm really trying to make my way through reading 36 books this year. But like this book is one book that changes every time I read it, because I'm like, dang, like I was battling this in this season and this verse worked there. And now I'm battling this in this season and this verse works. And they complement each other so well. And so I just really encourage you to read the word. Read the word. Like forget the TikTok shorts and the YouTube shorts and all of that great stuff. Like I'm not trying to say that those pastors are all bad. I'm just saying that when you know the word for yourself, it's nothing that's unmatched. It's no battle that you won't win when you know the word for yourself. Okay, I'm going to end it right there because that's all I got to say. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.